Hello chums, I'm Charles Knight from the Business School, and in this short video that will last around about 5 minutes, I'll talk you through the basics of using a really great tool called Bob or Boxer Broadcasts. At various points in this short video, I'll indicate that it's a great time to pause because you might want to try for yourself some of the things that I'm trying. So now's a great time to pause if you want to make yourself a cup of tea before we begin, or a cup of coffee. If you haven't paused or you've just come back, let's get started. So here is one of my modules, Law for Business. And in the Law for Business module, you see the usual stuff. Now here, in week 2, which is the week just gone for me, you'll notice that I've embedded a couple of videos. You might be surprised to see Judge Rinder there, but on business law, actually, it's a really surprisingly good way to introduce the students to some concepts of basic law. And I've also embedded a BBC radio show which is about a seminal law case around advertising. Now both of these videos I've embedded from Bob. So what is Bob? And if we switch over to Bob, which you can find at bobnational.net, or just Google Boxer Broadcasts and it will take you there. Bob is effectively an online video sharing service which is set up for UK higher education and further education institutes. Bob contains everything that's appeared on the BBC TV and radio from 2007, so over 800,000 shows. It's also got 10 foreign language channels, French, German and Italian. And also actually, if a show hasn't already been recorded to Bob and is available, you can actually use Bob yourself to record things that have recently appeared online. People can access it on handheld devices and all sorts. In this short video, I'm just going to take you through the basics of how to search Bob and also how to insert a Bob video onto Blackboard. So let's have a look. So if we go to the login page, Bob doesn't require you to set up an account of your own. Bob allows you to log in with your username and password, and here's my account. Okay, so if I go to the program guide, Bob will actually show you what's on today, and I could set Bob to record shows that I wanted to share with students or colleagues later. But let's say I want to make use of something that has been broadcast previously. I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan, so let's see what Bob has got for me. Sherlock Holmes. Excellent. So Bob is showing to me all of the different recordings that it's got, either TV or radio, that are available currently. And last year, there was an episode of Sherlock Holmes broadcast on ITV3 that's available. Let's just have a quick look. It's the obviously seminal Jeremy Brett version, which any Sherlock Holmes fan knows is the best version of all. So, what we notice about Bob is I could watch the show in Bob in the video recorder. Bob also provides a transcript of the show, which is really handy. And if we look at the bottom here, it also provides a link to show you how to cite the show. So on the Bob website itself, we can do lots and lots of different things. But at the most basic level, we can watch shows on Bob. We can search for search for shows on Bob. And also, My Bob is where you can build up playlists of items. I've set one up for business law. Okay, so I found the show that I want to show to the students. How do I do it? Now, at this point, you might be saying to yourself, why would I make use of Bob? Why don't I just find this stuff on YouTube? Well, there's a number of different reasons. A lot of the material uploaded onto onto YouTube is actually copyright violations uploaded not with the permission of the rights holder. When you use Bob, you know that you're completely copyright and licensing compliant. The second reason to make use of Bob rather than YouTube is that none of the links ever expire. One of the problems about using YouTube, people can make videos private, videos get deleted for copyright violation and so on. We know that if you put up a video on Blackboard that's linked from Bob, you know it's going to be there all the way through the course. Okay, so I found my my video and I want to embed it into Blackboard. And I'll just say pause here because you might want to pause, log on to Bob and have a search yourself. If you haven't paused or you've just come back, let's have a go at embedding on Blackboard. So if we go back across to Blackboard, I'm not going to use this live module. I'm going to use a test site that I have. Okay. So I'm going to build some content. So I select to do an item. And I want my students to watch this video. I would like you to watch this video for us to discuss next week. Just as an aside, I tend to use items on Blackboard simply because instead of having lots and lots of little individual items, for every week I tend to have an item. I put my slides up, links to any material that I want the students to use and so on. So here you might do it a different way. I tend to do everything within a single item per week. So I go back to Bob. I click on embedded. There are different ways that you can get a code for Bob to embed it. For our purposes, we would like embedded as code. It generates a code, which I click, right click and copy. So I have my code. And if I go back here to Blackboard, what I want to click onto is HTML. And it will generate the code for you. I paste in my code and click update. I click submit. And now it's embedded my video on Blackboard for students to see. I found Bob a really useful thing to use with students. Not only that, the students themselves have direct access to Bob. You might be supervising dissertation students. What's really handy is students can view old news items or documentaries about organisations that they might be researching. You might actually set yourself an exercise where you give an organisation to students to investigate, or a theme or a topic, and get them to get used to using Bob by going on there themselves and seeing what interesting news items or shows that they can find about an item. And that's as simple, at the most basic level, that's as complicated as Bob gets. You can do a lot more with Bob, but this is just to get you used to the idea of what Bob is and how you can use it. I hope that's been helpful. Goodbye.